really, really wild.
I will also be on the podcast with you. I'm the voice from the netherworld.
Yeah.
So,
The Great Oz.
That's right. Yeah. The man behind the curtain.
Everything's all smooth, Davey. We're live?
Yep.
Amazing. As we're talking about this book, it's gone places, but it reminds you of the book Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Because that book's about him writing quotes from his brain.
Yeah.
It's the same as this.
Actually, I've never really thought of it like that.
How crazy.
Yeah. Now that you're the first person that's ever said that. And that's kind of mind-blowing. Because he was one of the greats, right?
It's thoughts coming from the brain, from places. And you're sitting there and you're thinking, like, when you were sitting there and writing this, what was going through your mind at that time?
It's a culmination of different journal entries over the last 13 years. I've got journal after journal after journal, you see. So I wrote, and I still write when I am called or compelled to. You know, if I'm going to be brutally honest, writing was the thing that saved my life 13 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it that powerful?
Yeah, it is, because day after day for many years, and it's still there is a tree on the side of the colder, and whenever I would go to work every morning, it taunted me in my darkest days, and I had to meet that tree eye to eye every day until I came to realise that it has no power over me and I have all the power. And that realisation only really came to the forefront of my awareness because of my writing. But coincidentally enough, after my trauma, I became partially mute. So 13 years ago, I lost my second daughter. And it was all through extreme stress over a course of 5 months at the time, and of being pregnant, and I fell very sick. And so my daughter was born too soon, at just shy of 18 weeks, so she wasn't developed enough to have her heart continue beating. And because of that unforeseeable tragedy, I faced an accumulation of mental health issues that proceeded to unravel after the events of that period of my life, and I shut down. My coping mechanism was no talk.
A lot of us do that.
Yeah.
We kind of shut down and go into mute, like the way you use that word.
Absolutely. The interesting thing was and I was seeking clinical psychology as a form of therapy to help me during that time, but it wasn't working for me. And this is just my story, so I'm not here to explain or express that this is everybody else's experience in this space. But I felt like I was just treated as a thing in a textbook. Let's get you through the 7 stages of grief. Very robotic-like and habitual.
Agree.
And it wasn't shifting anything. If anything, it was creating more blocks. And when I speak about this, delivering keynotes and presentations, I refer to it as like a really beautiful body of water. So if you can think of the most pristine lake, or I don't know, just something in that expression, and a massive snowstorm comes rolling in, and you run for cover, and days later the snowstorm passes, but that body of water is now it's frozen over, it's ice. And you think that it's nothing there, but underneath that surface of ice is still motion, and there's life underneath, there's still flow. And that was me. So on the surface I'd frozen over, but underneath there was still this current of thoughts and emotions and questions, but nothing was penetrating the surface.
Yeah, you can't keep blocking them. I realised that for emotion. You can't keep blocking them and you can't keep ignoring them.
No. So writing was the sun that came out, and it defrosted the surface, that layer of ice.
What is it about writing that you felt like journaling that was helping you? Is it you're able to write and explain your thoughts?
It was an opportunity to feel safe.
No one to judge?
No one was going to judge me other than myself, and this is all part of the learning journey. When you detach from judgment towards oneself, no longer do you sit and judge others. I don't think anybody has that right.
Yeah.
But it was this, everything's been cumulative and everything's been a very slow, gradual process of learning. And I've been doing this for 13 years now. I'll be doing it for the rest of my life, however long that is.
Locked in.
But it was just that I have a safe space. I can be expressive. I can be happy. I can be sad. I can be a tumultuous ball of emotions all at one time.
No one can say nothing.
No one can say anything. And the more I wrote, the more fluent and fluid my language became.
That's
and
incredible.
I started to discover this whole expression of discovering meaning to our suffering. And when you sit with life and you acknowledge it as your greatest teacher, you become a great student.
Say that again. Life is its greatest.
Life is our greatest teacher.
Wow.
And when we can acknowledge that life is our greatest teacher, we become the greatest student. And then we are able to extract everything that life has in store for us or on offer for us. It's just and this is where, these are my lessons. I'm no different to anybody else. It's just that God gave me my path to walk on.
Wow.
And I didn't have a choice. I mean, I did. I could have stopped walking that path quite easily, but there was something deep inside of me that told me I had to keep fighting, and I did. And here I am today, and I continue to honour life, and that there is something greater than that of myself in this existence. And I choose to honour that by writing and talking and meeting people
100%.
and being open to opportunities.
As long as you have air in your lungs, you keep moving forward.
Absolutely.
I say this a lot. You never stop, and life doesn't stop for anybody. I remember a family member of mine, as he was going through cancer treatment and he was, on the road to death, he told me, Ahmad, one day life will continue with or without me. And you know what? It's been 10 years and life has continued without him. His children have grown up. His friends have moved on. He's, everything is continued.
Yeah.
And he went. So life is very, very interesting, and it's very important to appreciate it. And if you don't appreciate it, you crumble very quickly. And then you start to get depressed and all the emotions. And I remember I had a guest on here, Peter, and we're talking about gratitude. How important it is to just be grateful for everything you have.
Gratitude falls under a positive psychology intervention.
Wow.
So there's a lot of empirical research and evidence out there that is freely accessible to anybody and everybody to understand how powerful gratitude is. And it's that link between a random act of kindness. Michelle, let me buy you a coffee today. The expression of gratitude that I have in response to a coffee, just being here after, running around and, doing what I needed to do to get here today, albeit with love and passion for everything. It's like, this is a cup of legitimate black gold for me.
Yeah.
And
small acts.
It's a small act of kindness. Here is another book.
Yeah.
This one is for you. It's gratitude strengthens the heart. I'm going to ask you a question.
Let's hear it.
What do you think the strongest organ in the body is?
Say the heart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is. That's an actual fact. I learnt this not so long ago myself.
Heart.
The heart is the strongest organ in the body. So, and it doesn't pump blood, it siphons blood.
Wow.
So when we dissect a heart, it doesn't cut open in two. It actually unfolds.
Wow.
So the heart, in essence, hugs. it hugs over itself. So it unfolds into 4 sections. It's phenomenal. I've seen this firsthand in March this year.
Wow.
I shared a presentation with somebody, and he did the dissection of the heart whilst I did all of the stuff that I do. But it was the most phenomenal experience. And so you don't realize it at the time. But if the heart is the strongest organ in the body, what is the strongest energy that radiates from the heart?
What is it?
Love.
Oh,
So
don't look at me, Davey. We're having a big
I was going to say love, but I thought I'd let him try and figure it out himself, you know?
jump in.
love is...
So this is where you start to think about it. It's like, so if the heart's the strongest organ in the body and the heart holds love, why do we live in a world of fear?
It's interesting.
Why have we detached from love so much?
Because we no longer know ourselves or love ourselves.
Bingo.
Yeah, when you don't love yourself, you don't love anybody. You know?
Exactly.
You're in a dark place. You look at yourself and you say, I don't really like myself. And you no longer love people.
And, you know, going from my experience of trauma and tragedy and suffering to healing and meaning and growth and evolution, I had to, as I say in my book, Healing Horizons, I had to die on the 27th of June 2012 in order to be rebirthed. And it was only during this rebirth period that I discovered the true power of love. Because I realised, looking back at the soul that once was, or the version that once was, I didn't really love myself. I thought I did. It was all an illusion. And that illusion was based on status quo and societal expectations.
Ego.
And then...
Ego, right? The ego
totally.
as well, like.
Yeah. And it's not that we can... I don't think anyone should ever try to get rid of the ego. The ego serves a purpose. It's there to keep us in check.
I like
because
that.
Without the ego, then we can't have a spiritual experience.
So it serves a purpose.
Absolutely, it serves a purpose.
Does
You just got to
hate-
learn. You got to learn not to hate it. You got to learn to love it.
To use it to your own advantage
Yes,
and create a strategy with it.
it helps keep you awake. The ego will help keep you awake. And what I mean by that is, let's just use technology for example. We live in a very fast-paced, highly sensitive, overstimulated technological world, right? So it's very easy to get lost in the doom scroll
Very quickly.
very quickly. And if you have befriended your ego and you love your ego enough, then that will be the moment where you go, yeah, I'm losing myself to this. And what else could I do differently that could be a little bit more productive, or a little bit more of a soul workout?
In essence, protecting your ego, almost.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
I was reading a while back. I don't know if you know him. He was a great, in the golden era, Islamic. His name is Imam Ghazali, and he talks about the soul and how it's split into two. And he calls one the pig and one the dog. And if you look at the character of a pig, it's greedy, it's very filthy, and he had all this list. And then if you look at the dog, it's very aggressive, it can betray you, and we have them inside us.
Yeah.
We can betray each other, we can be aggressive, we can be violent, and we can be greedy, and we can be filthy. So, and if you don't tame them, it overcomes you and you become the beast.
Exactly.
And then when you're the beast, you're in a dangerous place.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting how the soul is and the intellect of the heart, and it's crazy. I never knew that it's so deep, just the soul on its own. You know? How powerful is love? Do you reckon our soul will die without it?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I think of people like Viktor Frankl, who was a Holocaust survivor. And one of my favourite books was written by not just Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning, but by a lady called Edith Edgar. And she wrote The Gift, 12 Life Lessons. And it is so incredibly beautifully written.
Wow.
It's like having her sitting in front of you, having a conversation.
Wow, this is it?
This is it. It's insane. And from two people, so Edith and Victor, both Holocaust survivors, and Edith is still alive today, bless
Wow.
her. Yeah, she's still alive. She's a clinical psychologist in America now.
Wow.
Has her own practice. So when she was liberated from the concentration camp, she migrated to America and so on and so forth. Her story continues.
That's incredible.
But you can't survive atrocities like that if you don't love yourself.
Yeah, you're right.
You can't. You can't. What's the point of survival in any capacity, in any form, if love is not the fundamental foundation for your next step?
Yeah.
I heard a story, a Holocaust story. I'm not sure if this is her, of a young girl. I think she was 12 at the time when she was in the Holocaust, in the concentration camps. And every day she would picture herself in an opera as a ballerina dancing. This is her. Yeah. This is the story.
Wow.
Yeah. So that she put herself in that place in her mind and lived, I guess, within that love of herself, picturing herself as this ballerina in the opera house dancing in front
So
of
powerful to do something.
and that she was safe in the mind, safe in life, right?
Pretty much tricking the brain at that point.
That's what it is. It can be seen as a little bit of reverse psychology or trickery, whatever language you want to associate to it. That's irrelevant. It's what you did with it.
Why does it bloody hurt so much though?
Love.
Yeah.
Because it's powerful.
We can't live without it.
But it hurts.
But it hurts. Like,
yeah.
But
it hurts.
Whether it's love of family, a partner, a friend. I've had a friend
An enemy.
I've had a friend that I really loved, and he's passed away. And every week I go visit him at the grave, and I sit there for a couple of minutes to talk to him, and then I get too emotional. I say, "Oh, piss off! I'm not coming back again," because it's the love I have for him. It makes me sad. It really breaks my heart, and I'm just like, I question myself. I'm like, why do I have to love you as a friend? Now it hurts because you're dead. It hurts me. So that's my only problem with it.
But now you've detached from the gratitude that branches out from love.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And it's how do you sit with the extension of oneself when we look at the concept of coping with mortality, right? The mortality of the people we love the most and the mortality of our own physical body, right? The soul will continue to live on, but our own physical human body. Everything in life is impermanent, and when you look at the realities of impermanence, from life to my coffee in this cup, to the water in this bottle, to the pages in this book.
Yeah.
Everything is impermanent. The ink in our pens, the batteries on our mobile phones, and it's only then that you realise the fragility in life. And that when we can acknowledge fragility, there is something that awakens, or at least it has for me, where you start to go, well, if everything has the essence of fragility, on a spectrum of polarity, how do I become anti-fragile so that I can appreciate things better?
Yeah.
Right?
It's like a saying, you don't know what you have until it's gone. You don't appreciate it. And I've experienced that. Dave, have you experienced that?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, well, most recently, my wife is away. She's in the States at the moment.
Yeah.
She lost her visa and she's not here. And we got married back in August, and that was January that she ended up staying there, and we've been apart for the last 6-7 months. So.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, that's probably an example of that. You know,
Don't appreciate what you have until it's gone.
At the moment, we're on two sides of the world, but we're trying to find each other again. You know, so.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You don't know what
That's
you have
tough.
until it's gone. And
Yeah.
that's where the journey, I believe, really starts. That's when the real pain starts. It's like now I've lost this person. And whether it's death, I think death is the ultimate heartbreak. You're not coming back from that. You know, I speak to my mum often and I'll say, what do you miss about life? And she'll just say, miss your dad, you know? And I'll tell her, you really loved him that much? He was my whole world. It was like, wow, you know? And still sleeps on the same bed,
Yep.
Same side of the bed.
same side of the bed, clothes are still there. It all means something to her. And that's love. And you got to love God. You got to love people around you. And if you don't, they go. What is trauma?
The wise words of Gabor Mate. Trauma is not what happens to us. It is the wounds we carry around from not healing.
A lot
I'd
of
like
words.
to say that they were mine, but I won't. I will do the right
He's a
thing.
great.
But just so good. Just so good.
Wow.
And that hit hard. I saw him earlier this year.
He's
I
incredible.
went twice. Interestingly enough, my beautiful grandmother left this earthly plane on the 6th of February this year. And
May her soul rest in peace, and she's flying with angels.
yeah, she certainly is. The week later when we had her funeral was the night. It was the Wednesday, and that night I had tickets to go see Gabor at the plenary in the convention centre. And I contemplated do I not go, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I went. I was exhausted. I was a train wreck. I looked atrocious. And I went all by myself, and I absolutely loved it, so much so that I went and bought a VIP ticket for his next show,
Wow.
which is more of a an intimate setting at the Melbourne Town Hall. So I'm a huge fan of Gabor's work, and there is a documentary that he created. It'll come to me. I can't remember, but a good friend of mine told me to watch it. I downloaded it. It will come to me. But he works with drug-addicted, marginalised people within Canada, Vancouver.
Wow.
Is it the Dosed?
No, it's not Dosed.
Trauma.
The Wisdom in Trauma.
Wisdom and trauma.
That's the one.
There you go.
Yeah. It is profound. And so I first heard the term this definition of trauma, that, you know, trauma is not what happens to us, it's what we carry around, in that documentary. And then I heard him say it live, and it was just like this massive,
Boom.
it was like a Mack truck hitting me in the face, and particularly because of the work that I do. And I just went, wow. And so it then got me thinking, if trauma is not what happens to us, it's the wounds we carry, then it is our soulful duty to acknowledge those wounds, because like anything in life, if we hurt ourselves and we don't tend to that wound, particularly if it's open,
Gets worse.
it gets worse. It will become, at some point in time, infected.
Yeah.
So our emotional wounds, our spiritual wounds, our mental wounds do exactly the same thing. This is why I've created the work that I've created. This is how I've come to build the frameworks from my own wounds and understanding how that healing has occurred. Infection in this space looks like drug addiction, alcoholism, porn, sex, sugar, technology, anything, caffeine. These are the addictions that we more often are made privy to and that we work with. But after leaving Gabor for the second time, I started to process all of this information, and I realised that we're all society's focusing on the wrong thing.
Wow.
Now, this is where I question how controversial I may become, because I'm of the subjective belief that people in certain positions are trying to fix the wrong thing. People are putting Band-Aids on broken bones because the addiction that we're focusing on is just surface level. Reverse engineer it. Why did that occur? Because adversity was experienced, because trauma was faced. But the addiction is actually to stress. And stress causes the next layer of addiction. So we're too busy focusing on what's visible on the outside, and we're not fixing what's on the inside.
Which is all the...
That's where the healing has to occur. This is where I came to realise that there are 10 parts to ourselves. We're like an octopus with 2 extra tentacles, right? And there's coping with mortality, there's connections and relationships, there's self-awareness, there's personal growth, there's authenticity, there's transcendence, there's legacy and contribution, there's morals and ethics. And I write about this in my work. And I came to understand that these extensions of self actually exist. When I was mid-flight, I was flying somewhere to somewhere for work. And I started thinking about how have I become who I am? I was a teacher for nearly 20 years. How am I doing this? Like, what's going on here? And what parts of myself have shifted? So this is how I understood this concept of existentialism. And so that's how I created the Existential Wellbeing framework. But that was all fine and well when I went, all right, well, this is cool. These are the areas of me that are the non-tangible components. But what did I do in them? And then I created the healing framework. And this is what focuses on the stress. This is what reverse engineers the surface layer of addiction, the anger, the depression, the obsessive compulsive disorder, the split personality stuff. Now I'm taking out anything genetically dispositioned here, or anything that you're born with. But I'm talking about when you are born into the world and you transition and evolve through different stages of life, you're going to be met and have to face with certain situations and circumstances and so on. How do you heal from anything toxic, adverse, traumatic, whether it's one-to-one or whether it is cumulative and collective trauma?
Yeah. Awareness, right? Awareness to begin with.
Absolutely. And you've nailed it. Like when I work with my patients through this existential framework, I ask 3 questions. I think we was talking about this when we had coffee the other day. I say to them, what within the framework do you feel positively aligned to? What do you feel curious about?
Yeah.
And what triggers you? And they'll answer those questions, and then I give them the chance to go, well, where would you like to start? And let's just say, Ahmad, you turned around and you went, I'm curious about personal growth, so I want to learn something new. And that's all fine and well. But how can you learn something new if you don't know who you are first and foremost? Yeah. So there's a little bit of a trick here, because in the existential framework, realistically, you should start with self-awareness.
Yeah, self-awareness, being aware
of who you are.
Yeah, and the wrongs you do and the mistakes, and acknowledge them, because that's how you grow.
Yeah, my wife just launched actually a page on school, school.com. They do have like communities and stuff.
Yeah.
And she just launched her own brand there, and she's doing meditations and healing, growth, and very similar things, And she, in her first meditations that she posted, she spoke about slowing down, and the more you can slow down and slow your body down and slow everything down, the heightened your awareness is, right? Because everything slows down. That you're not as aware if everything's moving so fast. You can't keep up.
That's right.
So
that's where
one good way is meditation, right? Like an entry point into becoming more aware.
That's where the brain starts to get overloaded, becomes overloaded, overwhelmed, and then the stress starts to come in.
I talk about what your beautiful wife speaks of in the book,
Amazing.
and it's called page 51, The Sacred Art of Pausing.
She's
Yeah.
She's onto something.
She's
She's a
onto
good
something.
woman. She's a keeper.
She is. That's why I married her.
You keep that one.
The pause, the art of pause. It's very interesting. It's sometimes where you just got to kind of take a break. Just pause from the world. And would that be just going somewhere quiet? Would that floating? Could that work?
Absolutely. People don't like to stop anymore because people are scared of themselves. That's what I believe. Nobody likes silence because they're scared of their own thoughts. Nobody likes solitude and tranquility because they don't want to feel.
Yeah.
So we live in a numbed, very detached world.
That's right.
And it's like, just feel, man.
Yeah.
Just stop and feel.
Feel.
What we need to come to realize is emotions won't hurt us. Whatever we feel is meant to teach us.
That's right. It's like a teacher. It's the whole concept I use always. It's a quote. Oh, it's always stuck in my brain. Ride like lightning, and you're going to crash like thunder.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
I like that.
That is
Boom.
so
Very
good.
good. Well done.
You're going to just you're going to crash.
So good.
Yeah.
There's
It's-
so much truth in that metaphor.
It's very important. That's why when you say pause, I never thought about it like that. I never thought about just
stop.
standing and just pausing and just thinking, brainstorming.
Take a
There's
deep
none of
breath.
that.
Even not even that. That's still movement. That's still, you're still thinking. You're still like brainstorming. What have I got to do next?
Yeah.
You know, the whole point of it is to do nothing. Like literally pause, stop, let everything slow down, and think nothing, because that's what the key is, right?
It's like anxiety. What's the key to anxiety? Is to calm the heart rate down.
But
Just
you want to
breathe.
know, this is something that I heard. I don't
She's
know
gonna
if you've
blow our
ever.
mind away.
Here we
Blow
go.
it away.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've watched the movie Christopher Robin.
A long time ago. It's an old movie, right?
Yeah,
That's a very old movie.
Winnie the Pooh
Yeah.
said. Winnie the Pooh says, "In doing nothing, you're doing something."
Yeah.
And it's one of my favorite movies because you would think that it's children. It's
There's a
meant-
lot of philosophy
but
behind
there
it.
is so much philosophy behind it, and the fact that we as adults, we just don't stop. We don't play anymore. We disconnect
Yeah.
from the inner child, and it's sad.
Yeah,
it's
it
sad.
is.
We're forgetting how to laugh.
Yeah.
We're forgetting how to play. We're forgetting how to just detach from grown-up responsibilities. I'm not saying entirely. Like I get it, but just play, laugh, have a
there's-
little bit of fun.
Yeah.
We've slowed
It's-
down a lot on the social aspect of it. It's embarrassing. Like, you'd go out for dinner with certain people and everyone's on their phone. It's like, just put it away and just socialise. I just want to talk to you. How's your day? Or you sit down, you eat, and then bang, just go back home. But
Yeah.
it's like an environment we're just so detached from one another. When the soul is created to be attached.
But detach from one another because we're detached from thyself. And that's the thing. We can't attach or connect because there's no connection or attachment from within. You mentioned float. We were talking before we went and started recording everything that I had my first float the other day, and it was awesome. I'm going to give this place a plug. Beyond Rest in Many Ponds.
There you go. Shout out.
They were awesome. She just an incredible place. But my first float, and for 50 minutes, I laid there in absolute black, like the
Silence.
blackest of black darkness, absolute silence.
It's incredible.
You want to meet yourself? Go float in a tank, man. Like that is going to, it's like standing in front of a mirror, and I do a lot of mirror work with my patients, but it's like standing in front of a mirror without the mirror there. It's not seeing the physical self, it's seeing the spiritual self.
Yeah.
And it's really cool.
It's crazy.
We're spiritual beings having a human experience.
Yeah.
Not the other way around.
You sing my song.
This book that you wrote is incredible. What blew my mind is you're talking about trauma being passed on from family through cells. I never knew that existed.
Yep.
That's incredible. That if you look back, a lot of people that I know that grew up with violence and extreme culture, the children carried it. And then their children carried it on. So it's actually more complex than just saying he's behaving in the wrong way. It's actually in some people's DNA. That's crazy. I never. It blew my mind that trauma is. If my just example of grandpa was violent to my father will adapt to that behavior, carry on to me, and then I carry on to children. How do we end that? When does that stop, or does it keep going?
I think every family at some point in that ancestral lineage has a circuit breaker. That's what I refer to it as, a circuit breaker. And that circuit breaker child is going to have some potholes in their road, but they're there for good reason.
Yeah.
It's to wake them up a little bit. It's like when you go on those long drives out in the country and the white lines are the bumpy ones, right? It's to wake you up a little bit.
Yeah.
Similar kind of concept. We all carry father wounds and mother wounds, whether it's abandonment, rejection, inability to love properly. I think the wounds of aggression and violence and so forth emerge mostly from first-hand experience and witnessing it, particularly when we talk about, my grandfather being violent, my father, and so on and so forth. But, this whole concept of ancestral trauma, it's a real deal. And I think I think it's not spoken anywhere near enough. And speaking about things only raises awareness. When we think about the traits within ourselves that don't feel aligned with the spiritual essence of who we are as a person, when we know we do something, we'll refer to it as a habit, a bad habit. You can't break it, but doing it still doesn't really tickle your whim. It's like, well, but I don't understand why I do it. You've got to reverse engineer it and start to look back into your childhood and at your mother and at your father. And it's only then that you start to kind of make sense of things. It's not an easy concept to process. It's not an easy thing to work through or with. Yeah. It's probably one of the hardest things. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack with some people. Yeah. It's very difficult. And sometimes it's because it's been suppressed so deeply and for so long that we don't even recognize its existence anymore. But the energy is still carried within. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And that's why I speak a lot about what just blew my mind is that I never expected it to be passed on. For example, I come from a very cultural background. A lot of my friends are Lebanese and Wog, and you look at their environments, it's all aggression, it's all violence, and you look at their parents, tough places, and then you think to yourself, oh wow, it is passed on.
Ahmad, look at the current social status at the moment. Look at what's going on in the Middle East.
Yeah.
This is not modern day warfare. This is centuries and centuries and centuries of pain and torture and conflict and greed and power and pain. Like and I can't speak firsthand. I've never stepped foot onto Middle Eastern soil. But I truly believe that the earth itself in those geographical locations of the world carry the pain.
Yeah, there's been a lot of death.
And so you absolutely, there's a lot of bloodshed in much. Those regions of the world, too much.
And it still goes on. It still goes on. If you look at them specific areas, for centuries, war,
So
bloodshed.
and that's the thing. Look what feeds the earth there. It's nothing but tears and blood.
Yeah, and violence.
And violence. It's sad. So you look back at history and the pain is very, very, very evident. And it's only until we sit in respect and love
That's right.
and honour,
Acknowledge.
and acknowledge what's actually going on. Why how has this become so dispersed? Because it's still occurring, and it will continue to occur until it stops where it's been birthed.
Yeah. It's like an environment. It's like people that are in toxic environments and they want to change, but they're stuck in an environment of toxicity.
Yeah.
You will not change. You're going to keep adapting to that lifestyle. You might quit ice and crack and drugs for 2 weeks, but you're still going to the same place where there's drugs. The third week, you're going to do drugs because we are imperfect and we're always going to be making mistakes. So changing your environment, just going off track to the humans and us stepping away from violence. This is where it's so important to acknowledge who we are and what we do with life. If we come from a really violent culture, I think it's up to the person to really navigate his life. You know what I mean? Whether I have the position to be violent with my family or my sisters, which I chose not to because I didn't want them to adapt to the lifestyle that I had. So I would say, I want to be kind to my sisters. I want them to smile with them and have conversations with them. And I won them. And if you don't change and navigate your own journey, you get stuck somewhere very bad. And then it passes on and passes on and passes on. So it's very important to pick the right place in the right direction and the right environment. You know, it's like I want to stop alcohol, but I still go to the pub every Friday. I'm just going to watch my friends watch the footy. The environment is full of alcohol, man. You're going to eventually fall into alcohol. So environment is so important. It's
Absolutely.
if you don't control it.
That's the awareness again, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Awareness of your environment, like where am I? What am I doing? You know, who am I with? How is this affecting me? You know, all of those.
The awareness to the choices. We're given a plethora of choices at any given moment on every single day. And the power comes from recognizing what choices do I have and then making a decision. And when you make that decision, right or wrong, you learn from it.
That's right.
You know, but you've got to, you need to make your environment conducive to the change that you want to be or create.
That's right.
As well. So, you've absolutely nailed it with the whole pub analogy. You can't keep going back to the same place that triggers you. You can't keep going back to the same person or people that trigger you. Leaving or change is scary, but it's only because it's what we deem as unfamiliar. It's the unknown.
Yeah, unknown, yeah.
Nothing changes in the known. Nothing grows in the known. It's expectant. But you step outside of that comfort zone, and this is not rocket science. I mean, I'm not the only person talking about this, right? But you step outside of that comfort zone to do something that you've never done, to go somewhere you've never gone, to feel something you've never feel, or to think something you've never thought. And you will start to, and you're in that long enough, you'll start to create new synaptic connections neurologically, and then things start to shift. Joe Dispenza talks about it all the time. Yep. You think differently, you feel differently. You feel differently, you be different. You be different, you do different. Yes, that's exactly
Triggering
right.
the brain.
Rewiring the brain, that's the way he puts it. Like as into, as you said, create those new connections, rewire the brain into, just completely changing. You can can change your entire body. You can heal from within, right? Just by
100%.
creating these connections. Yeah.
Where the mind goes, the body follows.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. I tell the patients that I work with that all the time. Where
Energy.
your mind goes, your body will follow.
It's all energy as well.
Mm-hmm.
I remember we were talking about it when I seen you last, about we are so adapted. As human beings, we love negative energy. And it's very interesting because you might sit down with someone, a friend, colleague, and you just have this negative energy from them. And what all of a sudden, it transfers to you. Now you're in a negative attitude or a vibe. So how important is it to have a good energy or to be around good energy?
It's vital. When we had coffee the other day, did I talk to you about the heliotropic effect?
Yes.
Okay.
That was a good one.
So the heliotropic effect, again, not my little scientific brain baby. It's the work of a guy called Kim Cameron. Funny story, actually. I ran on a treadmill next to him many years ago. I didn't even know it was him.
Oh, wow.
But I'll have to. That's conversation for another podcast. So David talks about Kim Cameron talks about the heliotropic effect, and it's like putting a pot plant on a windowsill. If you leave that pot plant there long enough and it blossoms into a beautiful flower, what direction will that flower grow in?
Inside? Up?
Yes.
Goes up?
It is gonna go.
Goes up,
What
yeah.
it is?
I've
What,
had flowers go inside the window and then make their way inside the house.
That's true. They
I've
find
been
a way.
there.
It's
They
actually-
find
it's
a
a very-
way.
it's a
Yeah,
very
they
fair
find their
point.
way. But it goes up.
In a perfect world,
Yep.
up towards what direction if it's on a windowsill?
Keeps going up.
Yeah, but what's going to go to?
Towards the sun. Right?
Yeah,
to
towards the sun.
Sky, yeah.
Why? Because the sun gives it healing energy, growing energy. It feeds it what it needs to grow. You take that same pot plant and you move it into a dark room, and it'll only survive for so long. It'll wither away to nothing until it eventually dies.
That's right.
Because it doesn't have the source of energy that is conducive to its growth and evolution.
You're right.
We, like the pot plant, are a living organism. You hang around someone for long enough that does not feed you what you need, you too will die.
Wow.
In some way, shape, or form, you will die.
The soul will die.
The soul dies, you will disconnect, you will find yourself self-loathing,
Negative always.
dipping into things that are unhealthy, whatever that looks like. So you got to ask yourself, who am I hanging around with? Because I am the equal sum of those that I hang around with, right? So how do I feel? When I leave person X, do I feel rejuvenated, revitalized, inspired? Do I get the warm and fuzzies? Like what do I feel when I leave that person? Or on the flip side of the coin, do I feel drained? Do I feel somber? Do I feel sad? Do I feel frustrated? Am I impatient? Like what's going on? It's because we as human beings, before we even speak to each other,
There's an energy.
you walk in, you read the room,
Yeah.
you know. But we live in a society, a system that is for many, many years drip-fed the subliminal messages of fear-mongering and spiritual speak that is deemed as woo-woo and, whatever, not to feel, not to listen to the instinct. But we read people energetically before we listen to anything that they have to say.
It's like an image. Tansal was talking about this last time, how we see things always as an image. When we had the last guest on, the memory guy, and talking about image. And it's true. Just by seeing someone, you can have some sort of energy. It's like an aura. And it can be a bad aura or a good aura. And that's why I say a lot of people, sometimes you just need to be strong and say, I'm getting out of this environment. If there's drugs and alcohol and abuse and violence, and you just need to just say to yourself, I need to get out of this environment.
And a powerful question to continue or expand that concept is what do you want most? You've been given a beautiful gift. It's called the gift of life. And you wake up every day as opposed to somebody who today was not blessed to wake up again.
That's right.
So what are you going to do with today? And what's your best hope for tomorrow? What's your best hope for next week, next month, next year? What's your best hope for when you turn 85?
Yeah.
If your best hope is to remain in the toxicity, who am I to judge? I wish you well. I pray for you. I hope you're okay. And I walk away.
That's right.
But it's because I know what my best hope is for my life.
That's right.
But you've got to have the strength to be able to recognise that. And again, it always just comes back down to how strong is the connection to oneself.
It's very important. I spend a lot of time helping people. And recently I've just put the handbrake and just like, some people just don't want help. You know, when you're trying to help someone for 10 years, that's a long time.
Yeah.
It's a lot of energy out of me. And then I realised maybe they don't want to change a bit. Maybe they're happy where they are. They're too comfortable. And you got to give that energy to someone else that really needs it, that's really dedicated to it.
And I think when you get to that point, it's also important for you in that situation to actually realise that the person you're trying to help, who for reason A doesn't want the help, reason B can't recognise the help, they've come from wounds, those two components. But from a spiritual perspective, we all have a divine contract.
Yeah.
And at what point do we sit back as someone who's extended the olive branch in love and respect? I'm helping, getting nowhere, you're the hamster in the wheel, and you go, maybe that's their divine contract. And all you can do is sit back and hope for the best, pray. Whatever it is that you are more inclined to do, just let that person be. It's free will. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and I know that hurts. Like that's the hard part when you're trying to help someone you genuinely love, and you got to pull back. It's like they've got a lesson to learn, and I don't know how destructive this is going to be, but this is what they need.
Do you know what my problem is a little bit with letting go is I blame myself for giving up on that person. And I get that concept because as long as you have life, you never give up. And then I think to myself, I've given up on this person. And that starts to haunt me. So then I go back trying to help them.
Do you think it's also your sense of control? Wanting to control everything around you, the situation?
Possibly. But it's out of love for that person, that friend of mine, you know, whether you're sitting next to him and you're seeing him go through disaster, breaking his life away, piece by piece. And then you look at him and you just feel like, do you have anything left to live? And it's disappointing. It's very sad, but that's my problem with kind of stepping away.
Because you lose control as well. Right?
Yeah.
You lose control, or you know, you were trying to help him, and everything you did, you know, has fallen on deaf ears. It hasn't worked. Thus, you step away, you know, and you let go of control, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes that might be the answer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky one for me. I think it's very important to, as long as there's life, to never give up. That's my opinion. You know, I'm a fighter for that stuff. So
I went through that with my eldest brother. Lots of, you know, psychological issues growing up. I mean, now he's in his 40s. And at one point throughout COVID, I was helping him a lot, you know, on the phone, talking to him, trying to help him through, you know, he was going through depression, divorce, you know, he had 2 children, 2 different women, and they both left him, and, you know, lots of chaos in his life, you know. And I was trying my best to help him, you know, every day calling. And after a few years, it was like, there's nothing more I can do here, you know. Like there isn't, he's incapable of sort of like, say listening, but yeah, you know, taking on the advice or being proactive enough to make any difference himself.
Just let him be.
With me talking at him the entire time, you know, it's not working. And it's taken, I've moved here 3 years, 4 years, and on his own, he started to make adjustments and changes in his life, and he's slowly grown over that period, But because I feel like I stepped away and I
Just
relinquished control, and I was
Yeah.
like, you have to do this on your own,
Yeah.
and it's going to take you 4 years of just reflecting and thinking every day, and I don't know, being growing that awareness within you to go, okay, how can I do this myself? Because your friend has to do that himself.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what I've been adapting to now. Just letting him be. Opening the cage door and letting him fly. Just, it is what it is. You got to do it on your own, because 10 years is a long time.
But maybe it's just a reframing of your own thinking, Ahmad. Like, maybe it's not about giving up and then associating guilt as the emotion attached to that process. Maybe it's about setting him free so he can find a sense of empowerment.
Yeah.
Because when we overhelp as givers, we have a tendency to overcare, overlove, overgive.
Yeah.
And there's only so much within us as well. It's like a water bottle. I use this a lot. I used to use this in teaching as well with kids. There's only so much capacity we have as a human being, just like a water bottle. If I put this under a running faucet and the water continues to come out, what's going to happen? The water's going to overflow.
That's right.
Right? So I used to use this analogy to help kids feel comfortable and safe with expressing emotions in a healthy way, yeah? But much the same, if we give and give and give and give from the same bottle, there's nothing left to give.
Nothing.
So at some point in time, we have to pull back from these people, not out of a lack of love or care or compassion or sympathy or empathy or anything, desire, but it becomes a method of self-honor. I've got nothing left to give you. So all I can do now is be in your life from afar.
Yeah, right.
I'm not leaving you, but I can't give you anything more.
Yeah,
when
right.
you need something, you come to me. I'm not rejecting you. I'm not leaving you in despair. But I physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually cannot give you anything more.
Stuff in there. Tank's empty.
Yeah. So that's not I'm giving up. That's you honoring yourself. And you've got to be okay with that. Otherwise, you won't have the life you want, because you're too busy trying to focus on the external world, and that will become all an illusion at some point in time because you've forgotten that you exist.
That's right.
And that's what happened with my brother. And, the other day he told my mum for the first time, he's 42 now, I want to go to the gym.
Yeah, wow.
He wants to go to the gym.
That's it. He's going to make the change himself.
And that's massive, huge. Even just such a simple thing of thinking, I want to do it. That's a life change for him. That will change his life. But he came to that himself. I didn't call him and go, you got to go to the gym. You got to go to the gym, man. You got to go to the gym today, right now. That's not going to work, is it? Especially on someone that needs time,
That's
to
right.
get there themselves,
If you want to open that post,
Yeah.
I want to share this with you. No.
Sorry.
Stages of grief.
Yeah.
That one. Open that up. When you look at this, I found this very, very interesting. I seen this last time when I was reading about it, and I've asked a few people. I keep asking them, what is the most difficult and hardest? And everyone's given me different answers. When you see this, where do you feel is the hardest position to be in? What stage, when you look at that, what stage do you see?
Does it start up here and
Yep.
end over here?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It's very interesting. I love this post. And everyone's giving me different answers.
So could you ask me the question again?
Okay. When you look at this, the stages, in your mind, helping people as an expert, where do you feel, what stage is the hardest on that graph? What is the most difficult? For me, I felt loneliness. If you look at it, it's right at the bottom. Right at the bottom, next to isolation.
What's the hardest?
Numbness is in early stages as well.
Okay. I'm going to throw the cat amongst the pigeons here.
Do it.
And I'm going to say anything new is the hardest
Wow. Wow.
because you've never done it before. And I take that from a very personal, like as soon as I saw that, and you've asked me the question twice,
Yeah.
I can honestly say that I have, loss, hurt, shock, numbness, denial, emotional outburst, anger, fear, like tick, 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 tick,
Tick,
tick,
tick.
tick. None of them are easy. Everything on the left side of that upside down bell curve is shit.
Yeah. Very
Absolutely.
Shit. Yeah, very shit.
Everything on the opposite side, not so shit, but really hard
Because it's all new.
because it's all new.
You don't know what's going to come.
And anything you lose requires us to rediscover. So it's a concept of rebirth. So we're learning everything for the first time in whatever sense that may look like.
Whether it's
learning
meeting-
to talk again,
yeah.
like my story. I had to learn to talk again. I had to learn to find my voice. Hope. I had to learn what hope was. I hoped for my second child to come into this world so I could carry her. That never came to existence. That wasn't my reality. I had to learn hope for the future. I had to learn to hope to survive.
And then there's fear in that journey while you're waiting for the hope.
Fear exists in everything new. Fear of a new relationship, fear, the re-entry into troubles, fear into the new patterns. Is this going to work for me? Is this
Yeah.
going to make me a better person?
Yeah.
Am I going to look weird?
Are they the right person?
Are the people who have been in my life my entire life going to stay in my life? Like, you know, everything. That's what I think is the scariest.
Very powerful.
That's a cool question, though.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's great.
I've been, I saved it when I seen it, and I've been sharing it to everyone, and everyone's given me different. Many people, believe it or not, were saying shock. That was like the hardest part, and I'm just like, really? I felt like loneliness is when you're just in a room and you're just lonely, and you've lost all that stuff, and you're just at the rock bottom.
Do you want to know what I found in loneliness?
Tell me.
Peace. I did. And I can't explain it. I don't know how, why, but
It's very interesting you say that. Peace.
I found peace. I discovered peace in my loneliness. I wasn't scared. There was something very transcendental in my experience when I went through the loss, the shock, the numbness, the denial, the emotional outburst, the anger, the fear. It was like standing on the edge of a cliff that had the tallest peak you could possibly
Wow.
imagine. And I just remember feeling like I stood on the edge of that cliff, and I was being given the spiritual choice. You can hold our hands and we can do this together, or you can choose to do it on your own.
Yeah.
But I knew that doing it on my own wasn't going to end well. So I took the hands of these spiritual beings and I took a foot forward off the cliff.
Yeah.
And it was the most exhilarating metaphorical experience I could say, because I couldn't explain it, but I just knew I wasn't going to die. I wasn't going to die. Nothing was going to hurt me in this space.
You felt protected.
I had to sit with this. I had to believe. I had to have faith, and I had to have hope. And you went on this discovery of just finding something in the nothingness. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that whole non-duality concept where everything just is. And still to this day, I struggle clearly to articulate it because it was such an out of this world experience. I don't know how to explain. It's like somebody having a near-death experience and coming back and trying their best to describe, explain, articulate, paint that picture. You can't. It doesn't matter how precisely articulate you think you are. The person you're telling it to is not going to get it.
Yeah.
Not to its entirety. That is my near-death experience.
Wow.
That
what
is
a
my
journey.
I grew up, this might show my age, I grew up watching, me and my brother used to watch Indiana Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't ask me which one it was in, but do you know where he's standing on the outskirts of this cave and he's got to cross to the other side.
Yeah.
But there's nothing there. He's like, how am I going to do this?
Yeah.
So he picks up the dirt and he chucks it and he realizes it's faith. He's got to have faith.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I can get people to try and understand. That's what it was like for me.
What a journey.
All I need is the hat and like, you know,
Yeah.
the murky brown outfit. And I'm like the modern day Indiana Jones. But that's what it was like.
What a journey.
I had to step forward and I wasn't going to fall. So
Having belief.
I think faith is a massive thing. And look, I'm of Catholic faith. I'm not a practicing Catholic. I don't go to church every Sunday. I'm okay saying that publicly.
Yeah.
I grew up not going to church every Sunday, but, you know, I'm of Catholic faith. And
The belief is still there. The thing.
absolutely.
Having faith in God.
But it's interesting. Before I lost Angel and then after the anger of hating everyone, and I couldn't hate everyone anymore, I turned my anger to God and I hated God. And I remember saying to the family priest, he came over to visit us, and I was sitting on the couch and Father Michael, bless him, turns around and I was crying and he says to me, he goes, Michelle, talk to me about your tears. And I couldn't get the words out. And it was like I was trying to hold it in. And all it took was for him to touch my hand. And I looked at him and I went, I hate him.
Wow.
He said, who do you hate? I said, I hate God. I hate him so much. And then that was it. It was like the avalanche came. I hate him. How dare he? She didn't do anything wrong. I'm a good person, blah, 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 blah. Like it all just came out. And
Anger.
he just held that space for me. And when I finished, I had nothing left to say. He turned around and he says to me, and I'll take these words to my grave. He says, one day you'll realise that God didn't take her from you. He brought her home.
Wow.
Yeah.
Angel, right?
And it was at that point where I realised I couldn't hate God anymore. And that's not to say that the hate stage ended, because the hate, eventually I turned it towards myself, you know. But I talk about it in Healing Horizons, but I've learnt got a really beautiful connection with God now.
It's very
and I'm
important.
proud of it.
What a journey. It's very, very important to have that connection of God. And like you said, it turns to anger. And then you question. And then the anger turns into resentment and violence and extreme. Loss and grief is, I don't like it. It's a place I've asked myself for a long time, you know, why do we love and then they die? You know, whether it's your father or mother or family or friend. Grief, everyone deals with grief differently. I realised as well. Some people go over the extreme and end up losing themselves. And some people handle it pretty well. But everyone deals with it differently. And it's a very touchy subject. I feel like death, you know, and grief and loss. If you're not strong enough to talk about it, you're playing with fire.
Well, here's a question that I ask people when we work in the extension of coping with mortality. Imagine yourself at the age of 99 and you're sitting in a rocking chair in a beautiful home overlooking the ocean or the countryside, whichever one calls most to you. And in that beautiful, tranquil space, you fall asleep. And God comes to visit you. And he says to you, my child, I come with a very important message. I'm letting you know that you have 24 hours left in this physical world. And in 24 hours from now, I'm calling you home because I have greater plans for you now. Your time has come. So in the next 24 hours, you have the opportunity to sit with one person for the final time. And you can tell them whatever it is that you want to tell them.
You won't call me.
But you have 24 hours left.
That's a tough one.
Who would that person be? And what would you have to tell them? And why do you want to tell them that? And it's an exercise.
Very interesting question. Very powerful question. It's very powerful.
There are.
That's why that book's so big.
Briefly.
This is the book that I use to facilitate such exercises. You know, it is filled with coaching questions to help elicit a sense of curiosity. It's designed to trigger you for reasons to move you through them, not around them, not to divert them, not to go past them or hurdle jump them or anything like that. It is specifically designed to stop you. Because if you don't stop, you'll keep going. Yeah. And that's what we got to stop doing. We just got to, I'm not saying stop permanently, I'm just saying stop a little bit, sometimes, every day. So here's a question. Flick through. Right, let me find something.
Don't give me an emotional one, Shell. Come on, yeah.
Make him cry, go on.
No, don't make me cry. Let's keep it cool.
Here we go. Now, I've flicked onto page 285. This is not pre-planned, but I'm assuming, based on my question here, it's tapping into the connections and relationship extension of yourself. So to either one of you, how can I bring more meaning into my daily routines, relationships and goals?
Davey?
How can I bring more meaning? Well, I keep going back to awareness, right? I mean, I feel like the more you can, slow down, become more aware of what's important, right? And I guess that's what the question you asked before, that's what it elicits, right? A deeper awareness of what really matters, right? What's actually at the core of where your heart is, you know? Yeah. What would you say to that person? Who's the last person you would talk to, and what would you do in that situation? That's when that awareness clicks in, right? And I think to answer that question, a deeper awareness then brings, deeper understanding of oneself and more love for yourself. Going back to everything that
it's an interesting question,
about, right?
Very interesting. It's a very powerful question as well.
Yeah.
It's a simple question, but when you think about it, it's deep.
And there is a lot of power in simplicity. We live in a extremely overcomplicated ecosystem called life. And we use big fancy words and, we research this and academia that and blah, 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 blah. And it's also, everything serves a purpose. I'm not discrediting that. But there is so much beauty and power in simplicity.
Yeah.
Just make it simple.
Have you watched the movie American Beauty?
Not in a long time.
All these classic movies we're bringing up.
Yeah,
I know,
watch that.
How old
You
are
need
we
to watch
guys?
that. The way he just changes things in his life and starts to appreciate little stuff.
Do
It's
another
incredible.
classic?
Yeah.
Patch Adams.
Brilliant movie with
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams, yeah, that's amazing.
Wow.
You never watched it?
No.
There's a movie for the weekend. It is.
He's an interesting person as well.
It is such a beautiful movie. And another good one that I talk to a lot of people about is called The Shack.
The Shack.
Yeah.
Let's
The
open
Shack.
that. Show me that, Davey. The Shack.
It's got Octavia Spencer. And who's the Aussie actor from Avatar? Sam Worthington. Yeah. Really, really interesting
wow.
movie. Really, really interesting.
Is it sad? Is it going to make me cry or not,
Oh,
Michelle?
you're going to need an investment in Kleenex.
Nah.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep away from that.
Yeah.
You need to cry more. That's what you need to do.
But dead set, it is, I can't. I've watched this movie so many times, you could think I've written the script.
Wow.
At every time I watch it, this and Patch Adams, there is always something new that I learn from it. Doesn't matter how many times I watch it, it's like there is, oh my God, there's like a hidden message, a hidden meaning. And I always feel called to watch it randomly. And when I do, I know that there is something in there meant for me that I needed to learn at that particular moment.
Gotcha.
Crazy.
It's interesting how movies we watch can have an effect on us.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
It's
it's
so
actually.
beautiful.
Is it? Why do you reckon that happens? Is it because we have experienced a similar experience?
I don't know. It's a great question.
It's
don't
very
know.
interesting though. Yeah, like you can watch a movie and then you'll get all emotional about it. It's just like, why am I getting emotional about it? For example, like, have you watched the movie Interstellar?
No, I haven't watched that
I've
one.
never seen
I
Interstellar.
love the
God.
soundtrack.
You
That's
gotta
the
watch
problem.
it.
Love
Yeah.
the music, but I haven't watched it.
Yeah.
You've got to watch it. It's
gotta
not.
watch
It's
it.
not like a space movie.
It's-
It's typical
Is it?
explosions and stuff.
Nah,
it's really
it's proper. It's deep.
It's really deep. And it's
And
very yeah.
There's a scene towards the end.
Oh, don't give her away. Don't give away anything. There's
Oh.
no
I'm
spoilers.
going to watch
there.
it. I promise
You have to watch it.
I'm
No
going to watch it
spoilers.
this
I won't
weekend.
spoil. I'll just say
Don't,
this
you
is.
can't. Don't because I know what you're going to say, and you're going to
You know
spoil
what I'm
it.
talking about? Yeah. You know what
Yeah.
you're saying? Makes me cry.
I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
And then I'll talk to you about it. I'll
Done.
message you and
Done.
I'll go like, I've done
Yeah,
it.
you can't
Done.
give any
You're gonna have
spoilers
to.
away for this
Okay.
movie because it's just next level. Yeah, it is.
It's-
I
it's,
cried.
uh,
I cried the first time I watched it as well. I remember. I was.
Is it
when
is
I-
it the same part we're talking about?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Game over. It's just
I
get some
remember-
tissues ready.
I remember
Oh my
watching it.
gosh.
I was living in Spain at the time. I was staying at my ex-girlfriend's house, and everyone was out, and I was at home alone watching the movie. And like they just arrived in the last like 5-10 minutes of the movie, and I'm there just crying my eyes out.
Yeah.
They're like, "Are you okay?"
It's
I'm like,
deep.
"It's a movie."
It's a whole different ball game. A whole different ball game. It's
Stop
incredible.
it.
Oh, it's incredible.
I want you to just briefly tell me about your books, please.
Okay. So, Healing Horizons, I'll start from what first came to birth.
Yep.
So, Healing Horizons,
If you can just show the camera. Yep.
this is my labor of love. This is my dedication to Angel Hope, because for a long time I thought, you know what, I'm going to share my story. Like I'm going to do something with what I've experienced. Anyway, it was just an idea, that a balloon that floated around basically. And long story short, last year the State Library had a, what do you call them? A grant given. I applied. I wasn't accepted. And it was at that point where I went, you know what? Am I not going to write this book because of a monetary value? Like that's just me on my own block. I'm placing monetary value in my story. Like I just got into my head and I'm like, that felt really dirty. And then one thing led to another, and I thought, you know what? I am not the only person to have experienced growth post-trauma. And as a integrative positive psychology practitioner, that is my advocacy. I love the science of PTG, the growth of it. I've adapted the inventory to it to suit my frameworks now, so on and so forth. And it was at that point where I went, I'm not the only person to be in this state of life. So why not put other people's growth stories into it? So I put a call out on LinkedIn, thinking not much of it, and 16 beautiful people from around the world tapped back into my space and went, you know what, I want to share my story. I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. So from our own backyards of Melbourne to Brisbane to Egypt to Abu Dhabi.
Wow. Everyone had a journey.
There are some really profound stories in this book.
Very deep ones. I read a few of them.
Yeah.
Very deep.
And the beautiful thing is I've taken photos. I've taken photos of these wonderful people.
Wow.
You know, to show that this is not me generating a make-believe AI person. These are real life, beautiful souls who tapped into the bravery and courage
Sharing their story
of their growth and healing and went, yeah, I'm ready to share. So from loss and grief to sex and alcohol and drug addiction to adoption to extreme horrific family violence to fleeing war-torn Cambodia. Like, we're talking stories of all kinds. I think I've tapped into every possible concept of adversity that I can think of, to be quite honest. Mental health, physical, spiritual, mental, emotional, you name it.
There's a lot of dark ones in there, I must admit.
But
I read a few of them.
Serbia, that was another one. But the thing is, you know, the book is not meant to highlight the pain more than it is to highlight the growth and the evolution that comes from it. And that's why I'm a self-published author. This book and The Quiet Promise, which I'll talk about in a minute, you won't find them on bookshelves.
Wow.
It's not, I don't have an agency. This is me. And I decided to take this path, not of least resistance, because getting the book out there this way is very, very challenging.
Yeah.
But I'm of also the very firm belief that these books will fall into the hands of the people who need it the most, not because it's been...
At the perfect time. Or at the right time they most need it.
Yeah.
Like what I shared this year.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
How crazy.
And so it's to be a shining light, a beacon of hope, an example, a real life example that it doesn't matter what you go through, whether it's loss of a child, a relationship, your land of birth, violence in the family home, arranged marriage, addiction to something, not knowing who your biological mother was and discovering it later in life, severe mental health issues.
It's never ending.
The soul is powerful.
Yeah.
Love is powerful.
Yeah.
Like all of this. And this is what growth post-trauma is all about. But the first part of the book is really giving people an understanding of what trauma is and what it looks like.
I did a couple of highlighted a few things from there, what I found very interesting, you know, by shifting the phrase to growth post-trauma. And just like the theme suggests that through experiencing and overcoming significant challenges, individuals can achieve higher sense of purpose and meaning.
Yeah.
You know, just little passages that are just so important. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, it's very interesting. It's a very, very... Some stories in there are really dark, though. I just couldn't...
It's not a, like, take to the Caribbean and sit on the beach in the Bahamas somewhere and
what
have
I found
a light
interesting
read. No,
was
it's not.
It teaches you to be happy with who you are. Because if I've had certain problems in my life and then I read someone else, I was like, whoa, that's pretty dark.
It also gives people the chance to put things into perspective.
That's right.
And perspective is very powerful. And I say here, you know, on page 2, and to all those who seek hope and healing, may this book be a beacon of light and a reminder that no matter the darkness, there is always a horizon of growth and renewal awaiting to be discovered.
Yeah.
And that's the truth of the matter.
I like the word horizon. It's very special.
And I kept going back to the self-publishing promise. I wanted to maintain that sense of autonomy and agency. I like the cover. This is
different.
Yeah,
it's your choice.
This
right?
is my
it's all your
choice.
creative
I didn't
choice.
want someone to go, oh no, I think different color or different. So, but the interesting thing is when I published this and now it's, you know, available for purchase on my website and whatnot. Last year I started going down the path of reading my journals again. I don't know why, I just did it. And then I decided to sit with this whole idea of what if I put my journal entries into the manuscript? And that's where The Quiet Promise was birthed. And so on the 20th of January, I released this to the world. The world. That sounds very dramatic, doesn't it? The world. Like I'm the modern day.
To the universe.
Like
To
I'm
the
the
universe.
Australian
To the
Oprah. I'm
universe.
not. I decided to bring this as a gift to the world because the 20th of January is my birthday. I thought this is my gift back. And this was scarier to publish than what Healing Horizons was. Funny because the healing is the ugly. The healing is the messy. The healing is the rawness. The healing is the uninhibited.
The
like,
dark place.
Here I am. Yeah. It's like, this is me.
Yeah.
And I sat with it and I went, oh my God, am I going to do this? Am I going to do this? Yes, you're going to do this. Do it. And I did it. And it's just like, wow. And it's really beautiful because I've come to discover, and we played a little bit with this last week, where I use this in my clinical practice, and I say to people, you don't just have to read this back to front.
Yeah.
I want you to just close your eyes for a minute and
Pick a page.
yeah, just flick until you feel compelled to stop and see what you land on. You know? And
Wild stuff happens, man. I'm telling you.
it never ceases to amaze me, the reaction that I get from people where they go, you got to be kidding me. Like, can we swear on this podcast?
Sure.
This is like fucking off tap. Like this is not normal. What just happened?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I just sit there and I get goosebumps and I go, now read it. And I'm just going to sit here with you in silence. Take as long as you need. And people smile, people cry, people like freak out. And it's just like, just take that. Just take that message. And
it definitely is a dark book, that one, in its own way. You know, it's same as I said, it's like meditations. It's just your meditations, your book of Marcus Aurelius. It's very interesting. I really liked it.
Thank
you. That book's gone places as well.
It's a beautiful gift that I suppose not only did I give to the world, but I gave to myself.
Yeah.
It was a moment of honour to say, yeah, this is what I've learned. This is nice. I should have put this in the book on the front page. It's maybe this is my next book.
There you go.
My God,
There you go.
I've just birthed my next book on your podcast.
There
Are
you
you
go.
ready? Are you ready?
Hey, look at this.
Are
Headlines.
you ready? We're going to
Thoughts
remember this
Unchained.
one.
That's
There
what
we
it's called.
go.
Right? Okay. A homage to life.
Yeah. That's powerful.
I don't know if that's already out there, but I'm gonna
doesn't matter.
coin
Yeah.
it.
It doesn't matter. It's yours now.
Yep.
I think that's going to be the next chapter to the Quiet Promise. It's going to be a homage to life, because that's essentially what these are all about.
It's about creating memories. I remember someone asked me this question. He's like, Ahmad, what's love? And I was like, love is you love someone and he goes, no, it's creating moments. And I stopped for a moment, and you know what? It is true. It's about creating moments. And when you do create them moments, they remain with you forever.
Can I plant another seed?
Yes, for sure.
What is love? You. It only exists because you exist. And it only ceases to exist because you choose to then ignore it, detach from it, to embrace it, to feel it, to honour it as you.
Wow.
So
Never thought of it that way.
when
That's
I am
interesting.
asked the question, Michelle, who are you? You know, the whole philosophical who am I? My response is very quick because it only has 4 letters in it. Love.
Yeah.
And that's where I think I have discovered something, and I say this with the utmost humility, but something really powerful, because I only exist because love continues to be passed on. And I am lucky. I am a lucky person. I was really birthed in love. I was raised in love. I've come from a very beautiful background. My family is has taught me love. I honour that. And I'm lucky because not a lot of people have that. But I would be doing a disservice to the universe, to source, if I didn't acknowledge that and therefore be a beacon of it and try and help somebody who doesn't recognise that energy and that source that they themselves are to love. That's what it is.
That's what it is. It's very powerful and very interesting. This one's going to be an interesting one. You're walking down the road in the city and you're going to grab a coffee. And you look and you see 20-year-old Michelle. What advice would you give her?
Might be a little bit cliche.
Whatever you would like to say, you can say.
Don't stop. Whatever you do, don't stop. Don't stop listening first and foremost to your own voice. Don't stop being authentically you. Don't stop being unapologetically you. Don't stop being passionate about the things that fuel your soul and light your fire, and definitely don't stop doing the things that make you laugh. Don't stop doing things that continue to bring forth love in every way, shape and form.
Very powerful.
Don't stop.
Don't stop. Michelle, you've been absolutely amazing. Speechless on the stuff you've said, we've spoken about today. You've had an incredible journey, a beautiful and a very powerful journey that now you'll carry that for the rest of your life. And what you do is incredible, and the people you help around you is incredible, and around the world. Like I said, your books landed in places you would never imagine. So I do appreciate you coming on here today and sharing your beautiful wisdom and expertise and life journey, and a lot of lessons to learn. So I'd want to just say thank you very much, and I appreciate you, making time and being here. So it's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for
amazing.
asking
Thank
me.
you so much.
You guys are legends.
It was awesome.
We try
brilliant.
to be the best. So
And this podcast is very special.
yeah, thank you.
I don't say yes to every podcast.
Yeah,
There's
thank
got to
you.
be a synergy and an alignment with that kind of energy. But I really believe that what you're doing here
Thank you.
is touching people in
Thank you.
really powerful ways. So
Thank you. I appreciate them.
keep going.
Oh, we're trying to.
We are, yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much,
Thank
Michelle.
Michelle.
Thank you. The cameras start to kind of overheat after a while.
Yeah, an hour and 30.